Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I hope it's back to the Information Warfare Pavilion for our speaker series. We have one more for today, and then, of course, we got a full schedule tomorrow and Thursday morning. So keep checking those schedules and keep coming back. We're very happy to have with us today Rear Admiral Nick Holman, Commander Fleet Information Warfare Command Pacific, and Director Maritime Information Warfare, U.S. Pacific Fleet. You've heard a lot of talk about our challenges coming up, and he's right in the middle of all of it. So we're very happy he was able to get enough time in his schedule to come here and talk to us. He's from Iowa originally, University of Nebraska. Also has a Master of Aeronautical Engineering from the postgraduate school. Started out as an aviation electronics technician and then was subsequently commissioned. Too many ashore and afloat commands to read him. Look at his bio online and you'll be suitably impressed. With that, I'm just going to turn the podium over and let's get this started. Admiral, all yours.
Thank you, sir. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate y'all staying for the last speaker of the day, and I realize that I'm between you and dinner and drinks. So I'll try to give you a few things to think about. It'll be much less eloquent than many of the other speakers. My boss, Admiral Kaler, you heard Vice Admiral Clapperton kind of roll around here. After 40 years, I still have not been able to lose the moniker I received as an E1, and that was the dumb kid from Iowa. So with that being said, the theme of this year's conference poses a question I spend a lot of time thinking about. The future is now, are we advancing operational capabilities that pace the threat? As a PAC Fleet Director of Maritime Information Warfare and the Commander of Fleet Information Warfare Command Pacific, it's my job to levy requirements and then effectively integrate and employ all the information-related capabilities you've been hearing about and seeing here at West to deter aggression and, if required, prevail in conflict. And now is not the time to bluff. The CNO's NAV plan and Project 33 set aggressive and necessary goals to improve readiness and prepare for crisis and conflict by 2027, just 2 years in the future. There can be no bluffing when it comes to deterring adversaries and assuring allies. We must have overwhelming combat capability to fight and win. The CNO's plan is enhancing those effects and capabilities, and Compact Fleet and FIWC PAC are the beneficiaries of CNO's emphasis. And we are confident these initiatives will give us the capability and capacity to prevail in one of the most complex and technically challenging environments. As we stand at the crossroads of a rapidly changing world where information and information warfare are as vital as any traditional kinetic weapon system, the cutting-edge capabilities being discussed here at West, coupled with innovative TTPs and strategies for employment, are things my team at PAC Fleet and FIWC PAC are working on. In the past, the Navy's success was determined by gross tonnage or expressed by sheer naval power, the number of ships, submarines, and aircraft equipped with high-caliber, high-capacity armaments. Today, however, the lines between the physical and the digital domains have blurred, and the battle for supremacy is as much about information as it is about weapon systems. The information domain, encompassing everything from cyber operations to electronic warfare to intelligence surveillance, reconnaissance, and targeting, is now an integral part of the fight. In the Indo-Pacific, the People's Republic of China remains the pacing challenge. Today, the PRC seeks to exploit its economic and military power to coerce its neighbors and threaten their interests while undermining our allies and security partnerships. Our job at FIWC PAC and PAC Fleet is to deter the PRC and be ready to respond if required in crisis and conflict. To that end, I will highlight 3 areas that we are laser focused on: operations in the information environment, or OIE, counter C5ISRT, and fight from the Maritime Operations Center, or the MOC. Arguably, information is the PRC's main tool for engaging in strategic competition. And frankly, it's one of our most challenging instruments of national power. The PRC has empowered more people to engage in lies and half-truths and propaganda than the U.S. employs or allows to tell the truth. According to a joint white paper by Stanford and Hoover Institute titled "Telling China's Story, the Chinese Communist Party's Campaign to Shape Global Narratives," the CCP has a deep propaganda history going back nearly a century. Their current playbook encompasses broadcast, paper, and digital media. One can find their propaganda on social media, platforms, radio, and other media. The PRC's method to operate in this space is controlled by the Central Propaganda Department and through the United Front Work Department, which hired 40,000 individuals to clandestinely influence non-party figures. They have also been effective through their use of online media, including Facebook, with over 100 million followers in China and globally, and the digital platform Weibo. If you're on an information team, a U.S. or coalition information team, and we engage with many, what we have found is the authorities are complex, and getting our messages out to intended audiences in the region in a timely and effective manner is challenging. As a result, our truthful messaging is often too slow to have a cognitive effect that we need. We must capitalize on all opportunities to expose our adversaries' malign behavior and amplified good, blue, and green actions. The upside is we are working hard to get faster and better, and automation will help. Two of the places the Joint Force was successful in employing information at scale and in real time was at the height of the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. From those experiences we've learned, whoever frames the narrative and dominates the information space wins. The PRC, Russia, Iran, and some terrorist organizations are very effective at being the first mover in the information environment. They get their story out first and are ready to explain almost anything. In a vacuum, their messages do resonate and mislead. Today, the key difference between U.S. information effects and our adversaries is that when we do it, we are speaking truth and educating, while our adversaries are manipulating the truth and peddling lies. So if you want to compete in the environment, we need to transition to a different mindset that merges various aspects of information-related capabilities. We need to merge with our public affairs teams, our cyber components, and other operational planners and other elements of national security. After all, the PRC is on a war footing every day in the information space. To quote an old friend, retired Admiral Studeman, we need to play to our primary advantage. The truth is on our side. We will be right more than wrong, and we should not be afraid to shape the environment and then correct the record if we make a mistake. That demonstrates courage and honesty. We need a process that's more decentralized and something that's more command by negation-like, and I am confident we are moving in that direction. Shifting the counter C5ISRT, along with Homeland Defense, counter C5ISRT is a top priority for the Indo-PACOM commander, and it is one of the 5 key capabilities the CNO prioritizes in Project 33 to ensure our Navy's future warfighting advantage. Our task as information warfare professionals is to counter command, control, computing, communications, cyber intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and targeting at scale. As it is this enabling capability that will bring victory in crisis and conflict versus our adversaries. It's important to recognize how deeply integrated C5ISRT systems are in the conduct of warfare. You've heard all the speakers today speak about this. And like I highlighted earlier in my remarks, while traditional military operations were historically defined by our ability to control the physical battle space through strength and geographic dominance, Today, the digital environment plays an equally decisive role. Without an effective C5ISRT system, military forces are essentially blind and unable to respond in a coordinated manner. Distributing or delegating these systems creates opportunities to exploit weaknesses and disrupt operations and create confusion. To do this right, we will be required to integrate non-kinetic effects with kinetic effects at scale, something that has never been done but is absolutely doable. Our success in this arena will depend on an integration of cutting-edge technology, robust evolving targeting strategies, and perhaps most importantly, developing TTPs and policy that enable our military contractor and civilian personnel to innovate and evolve in real time. The third and final element of my talk today is fighting from the MOC. In a rapidly evolving environment where threats emerge with increasing speed and sophistication, the ability to command and control maritime forces with precision, agility, and foresight is paramount. And this is another area where my team is leading in the Indo-Pacific. The MOC serves as a nexus for decision-making, coordination, and integration across all aspects of maritime operations. It is, in essence, the heartbeat of naval warfare and maritime strategy, ensuring that we not only respond to immediate crises, but also shape the future security environment in which we operate. At its core, the Maritime Operations Center is a command and control facility where trained people and processes designed to provide a comprehensive view of the battle space for the commander. It integrates a wide range of capabilities and serves as the central hub for real-time data, intelligence analysis, and communications, and ensures that decision makers can respond to threats or opportunities with speed and accuracy. The effectiveness of the MOC will be largely dependent on the technology and systems that power it. As other speakers have noted, the connection of the MOCs to operational forces is being discussed in this venue this week and is critically key to its full operational capability. In today's digital age, the volume and speed of information are unprecedented. The MOC must be equipped with cutting-edge tools that can process and analyze vast amounts of data from a multitude of sensors, platforms, and sources. This includes advanced decision support systems, real-time data analytics, and secure communications networks that allow for immediate, secure exchanges of information. The integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning will help as well. These technologies can automate routine tasks, analyze trends, and provide predictive insights that can provide an edge in a rapidly changing operational environment. In addition to these technologies, we need sailors, civilians, contractors like you right here in this room who understand these technologies and are willing to break from the way we have always done it, to best leverage innovation and develop recommendations and solutions which adopt these advances to create advantages for our forces. We recognize that actual platforms may be unmanned and that we need to set up the infrastructure, a secure network, and everything that enables the unmanned technology to work, including the people to operate it. We can do this. Finally, it cannot be stressed enough, the human element remains crucial. While technology can provide invaluable support, it is the expertise, analysis, and judgment of the men and women who work in the MOC that will ensure we respond to challenges and opportunities effectively. Ensuring our operators are well prepared for future challenges is a top priority, and we must not forget that technology alone will not get us where we need to go. We need to leverage our most precious resource, our people, to build winning teams. To quote Admiral Early Burke, the strength of our military organization lies in its combat power, which is in turn the sum of two basic elements, its equipment and its people. And so it goes for our Navy. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to take your questions, or everyone can hit dinner and drinks. Thank you.
Hi, Mark Pomerlo with Defense Scoop. Given that the command is still relatively new, curious what lessons you guys have all learned in terms of building it out. What assumptions did you get right or wrong from the start to where you guys are now?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for that. So I guess I go in two directions with that. One, from a structural perspective, we in the information warfare have built a number of commands in areas like up at NSA and other areas. And what takes time is building out the structure of a command. To have a command, you have to have a commander. You got to have a front office. You got to have a command master chief. You have to have a Navy career counselor. You got to have a budget. You got to have yeomen for admin support. You got to build. The only way you can build a command culture is to have a command. Having a command that's embedded, where you're leveraging your boss's resources and you're getting it from other things, makes it extremely difficult to build a culture. So as we transition, this command, we're going to grow by another, number of billets. And one of the things that I've, talked to Admiral Kaler about at length is at some point, we got to make a decision, if we're going to really enable this to be a command. And if that, we have to break from probably PAC fleet and stand on our own 2 feet with our own resources and our own element and establish a command culture. So I think we're learning that. We've seen that over history work sometimes and not so much in other places. So that's one thing that we've learned. I think the other key thing that we've learned is that commanders command. And so when you start talking about war fighting and warfare, commanders make decisions, kinetic, non-kinetic fires, information operations, those kind of things. Those are delegated to commanders. You don't delegate those to staff elements. You don't delegate those to other areas. So as a commander and as a command, that's an opportunity for senior leaders, whether it be Indo-PACOM or Admiral Kaler, to delegate responsibility to a commander and then hold that commander accountable and responsible. So I think those are the two things. I hope that helps.
Good afternoon, sir. Admiral Clapperton gave an excellent briefing talking about the different capabilities that he's looking to bring to bear in support of the COCOMs. Can you talk to how you're working your organization to leverage space-based capabilities to create an information disadvantage for the Navy, working with Admiral Clapperton and the different agencies? Yeah,
thanks for that. So we're completely integrated with Admiral Clapperton's team. So they sit up at Waiwa, we sit down at Pearl Harbor, and so, but we are connected. So when he talked about, his MOC, which is one of the PAC fleet MOCs and our MOCs, we're completely connected. And that integrated fires element that he talked about is another thing. And equally as important is the connection to SpaceCom and Space Force. So as you start looking at, again, to warfighting, what we're finding is, when you start talking about a JTF and those kind of warfighting mentalities, you got to reach across a broad breadth of COCOMs, and you got to get that COCOM collaboration. So we're working through those details of how we work that out and how that synergy works best with Indo-PACOM, and then you got SpaceCom and you got CyberCom and you got all these things. So that's a critical element of what we're trying to work through right now as we look at O-plans and those kind of things. Told you, Joe. I was brilliant, and be bold, be brilliant, and be gone. That's what one of my bosses told me. So, thanks to everybody, and have a nice evening. Thank you. Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, folks. This concludes our program for today. Please come back tomorrow morning. We start off at 9:30 with Vice Admiral Carl Thomas, Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Information Warfare.